Why hello there, dear gamers! Today we're going to be playing one of my most favorite first-person shooter games that were on PC, Fear. Pretty scary, isn't it? Already you can see it's spooky with how the sound is going. So what exactly is the point of making a video about this, especially a video analysis? Well, several reasons. The game is one of the better first-person shooters from the PC-focused era. There was so much that it did correctly, and then the sequels just gave all that up for consoles. Console gaming has ruined first-person shooters, and I also believe that gaming in general from the mainstream has ruined stories for first-person shooters in general. Now we don't call story-focused games first-person shooters anymore. Now they're, what was it called? I already forgot the name. It's, something like Prey, something like DSX, something like Bioshock. They call them interactive simulators or something like that. But we had to give them a completely different name just because there's a big difference in how the whole focuses go. So what made this game unique? What made it special? From the start, you can see that there's a horror aspect that everybody can enjoy. This horror was inspired by Japanese horror specifically. And from Japanese horror, we can see that there's a difference from what any other horror is going to try to do, like Dead Space, because that's not actually Japanese, that's more of a body horror involving aliens, like how The Thing did. This one has to do with ghosts and psychics. And I don't think that it's proper to compare that to Stranger Things, because Stranger Things is a little bit different. There's a different focus in that. I don't want to call that Japanese horror at all, or even psychological. That's more of a, I would say that's more of like a postmodernist Lovecraftian than anything. So Fear went with psychological horror and Japanese horror. And once the second game came in, we lost that. Then the third game came in and we lost that too. So there's this huge aspect of the entire way the story works that determines how the game is supposed to function. And that even goes into the gameplay with things like the reflex system and things like who you're even fighting in the first place, like where that's supposed to go. So a couple things before we begin playing, I want to establish. The designers of this game were, I guess you can consider them weeaboos, because they were heavily influenced by things like the mecha genre, which is what allowed Monolith to create a game like Shogo. Now, nobody really played that game. I don't... I think I have it, but I played like 3 seconds of it and got bored. That was not important. But what is important is that they made it, and they have this Japanese origin to them. And another thing that was Eastern-oriented are things like John Woo movies and The Matrix, which allowed them to conceive this bullet time idea in the form of reflex. Before I played Max Payne, that one had bullet time. They were trying to go for a John Woo style. So they were kind of mixing like East and West, but Western themes along with Eastern ways of telling a story. Here, we're going to have a similar approach. Eastern way of telling a story and action with Western themes. So across the whole gameplay, I'm going to be talking about things like The Grudge, The Eye, Ringu, Sweet Home, a little bit of Akira here and there, psychics. Japan had a big thing with cyberpunk and psychics because psychics were technically like witches under the idea of Japanese mythology. My main goal with the game is to explain how this game functions in a good way and how the sequels sucked, and if they ever want to make a remake, maybe they can change a couple things here and there. So let's get to it. I'm going to play moderately because I'm not that good. If you've seen my Max Payne playthrough, you know I'm not that good at these games. Not as bad as a game journalist though. A high-level alert has been issued. Mission: Fear team is to report for emergency briefing to the situation. You have just been transferred to the unit as a point man. This will be your first assignment with Fear. This is good that I can pause because I want to kind of go over this whole thing. So we have Inception, Point of Origin, and you're a point man. Your entire group is called First Encounter Assault Recon. You are the first ones in, you encounter something, paranormal encounters, you assault, you get a fight, and then you recon, you search and discover. All of these work beautifully. This is the first of its kind, this kind of game, where you are a human, person of matter, trying to fight the supernatural, because here you end up fighting the supernatural when it comes down to a psychic who can control a clone army, and that psychic is also technically dead, but comes back to you as a ghost, and also haunts you throughout your entire endeavor. So the Fear team is to report to the emergency, and it's a high-level alert that has been issued. So already we're very pumped up just by reading that. We're like, hey, this is going to be a good thing. This is like an important mission. It's not some kind of lazy thing that happens. There's an importance to it. And Inception is in reference to the mission being the beginning and the starting of the thing. And your character, Point Man, is also part of the inception of the entire event. Spoiler for a very old game. I also like the little Windows X and square and line up there. That makes it look very authentic. Can I click it out? Oh shit, you can't. In 2022, the U.S. Army formed a secret unit. Oh, I can't read that. The unit was named First Encounter Assault Recon. It's a special unit for paranormal activity. I'm sorry, before I said supernatural, I meant to say paranormal. That difference is important for it to be sci-fi. I'll explain later. An eyeball, seeing someone on fire, a warped perspective. Is that Nicolas Cage? I'm a psychic, I'm a psychic, I'm a psychic. Running down the street. Footprints with nobody there, a ghostly presence. He's released by the ghost and then screams. Boy howdy, these letters are tiny. There's a clone army. They're all prepared to start dancing to Thriller. Now they're awakened by his scream, his voice. This is the antagonist. Now he's in the hallway. Seems it's a place called ATC. Gotcha now, die! I like how all this is done silently. No useless banter or wasteful dialogue. Like how games do now. There's 3 squares attached to an almost triangle shape with another square inside of it. That might be a nice symbol to examine once I get the chance to. So everybody part of this ATC get killed off by these clone soldiers. Ah, I love the blood effects. So good. Here's the guy controlling them, who's eating a dead body. I think he does it so he eats their memories. He's looking for information.
Yes.
Sorry to wake you, Senator. It's about Origin.
What happened?
There was an uprising. Fettel has taken command of the prototypes.
Fentanyl?
My God.
We can still resolve this discreetly, but we have to move fast.
Oh, all right. Let me make a few calls.
Who are you gonna call? Psychic Busters.
This wacko's name is Paxton Fettel. He's the key. If we contain him, we contain the situation.
Fucker's got an appetite.
I think he has an agenda. It's not just recreational. He's getting something out of it.
Essential vitamins and nutrients?
What's his story?
Property of Armacam Technology Corporation. They're working on a military contract to develop an army of clones.
There's my shadow, there's my big toe. You see that?
Top secret.
Switchblade attached.
Fettel is one of the commanders.
You gotta be fucking kidding me. This is why nobody takes us seriously. Military clones.
What, you never even seen
Whole
Star Wars?
battalion of them. Highly trained and heavily armed.
A battalion? What are we supposed to do against 1,000 super soldiers?
Shoot him up.
Like I said, we put Fettel down and it's over.
Well, that was a big lie.
Fortunately, the whole point of the program is to give commanders first-hand knowledge of the battlefield without putting them in danger. That means we should be able to corner the bastard without having to wade through all those soldiers.
Yeah, it doesn't really work.
Armacam had planted a transmitter in his head. Should lead us right to him.
That's awfully convenient.
Assuming it does what it's supposed to. What about you, buddy? Ready to go to work?
They're talking to me.
Are you crazy? He just transferred in a week ago.
You've seen his training results. His reflexes are totally off the charts. I think he can handle himself.
Whatever, man. It's your call.
Goddamn right it is.
Don't worry. You'll be fine.
Let's roll.
Let's
You will be a god among men.
Joe Biden, wake up.
We've tracked it just up ahead. No sign of enemy activity on the satellite, but don't take any chances. Jankowski, you in position?
Just say the word.
All right, move it out.
Situation. Fear Mission Coordinator Rowdy Betters has tracked enemy commander Paxton Fettel to an abandoned building in Auburn District. Hannibal 3 spy satellite and geocentral... Oh, I can't read that. Once it gets past 3 syllables, I start giving up. Orbit shows no signs of replica soldiers in vicinity. Mission Fear Combat operatives will infiltrate target site from 2 separate entry points and attempt to neutralize Fettel. According to Armachum. How kind of name's Armachum? Is he Armachoman? Technical advisor, once Fettel is contained, replica soldiers will become inactive and can be rounded up without incident. So this is a plan. We're going to go in there, take out the guy in charge of these replica soldiers, and taking him out is going to cause all the other soldiers to go out of commission because their mind is not actually a mind. It's a hive mind controlled by one person who is the king in this instance. He is this king being risen out from the darkness, from the primordial ooze, caused by the innovation of the military. The military has caused these replica soldiers to become a thing. The military wanted Fettel, or somebody like Fettel, to be in charge of these replica soldiers, and that's why they started to seek out psychics. And this is a big thing from the Cold War era. In Japan, they were very big with this as well. There's a lot of cyberpunk anime all about psychics. One of my favorite animes that I started to watch recently, called Angel Cop, is one of those stories where a normal person tries to fight against a psychic. There's also the other game that came out a long time ago called Parasite Eve, where you're, in that one you're supposed to be a normal person, but you have like a power that can kind of defend you. But there you're also fighting what is essentially a psychic who is able to manipulate the cells of a person. So that one's more like a biological manipulator that's using psychic abilities as well. So that one's from Japan, and I see a running theme here where Japan is very afraid of these psychic kind of characters, and we kind of wonder to ourselves, well, why exactly is psychic a bad thing? Why is a psychic a thing to be feared? Well, in something like Parasite Eve, they call the character Eve a witch. She is a witch who has magic powers because she is able to speak to what is essentially spirits, and these spirits control things that are in our world. In Japan, spirits and kami are interchangeable kind of word, but it's a little bit more complex when it comes down to kami, even though I don't know why kami is more complex. I understand spirit as the way I understand kami, but kamis are meant to be spirits all over the place, and they are part of the material, part of the mental, and part of the spiritual, and they interact with everything. So the wind's blowing, that's caused by kamis. The water is flowing, that's caused by a kami. The kami is the water, and it's in the water, but it's not like the water itself. So it's like the thing that causes stuff to happen is kami, and that's what happens with psychics. They cause things to happen without touching them, with their mind. So they become, you can kind of say that in a Western sense, they become partially a god. And that's why Fettel is a king. He is a partially god, or I guess you can even say like a demigod by being a psychic, according to this game. And so now we had to take out the king to take out the kingdom. This kingdom caused by replicas. Replicated people who don't have their own idea, they don't have their own mind. They just follow what the king says. So these themes are being introduced to us very clearly right away. We can kind of understand more or less the direction this game's going to go with. And that's why this game entrances us right away. We're like, oh crap, I gotta fight against a clone army? What is it, Star Wars? Am I a Jedi now? And you pretty much are with this, these mind tricks you can do. You can slow down time for yourself specifically, and we're gonna see it in a little bit. It becomes a big thing in the story. So we're part of the army, and we got this tiny little car, and everything looks a little bit warped. Might be like a great VR game. Got my little pistol here. It's the worst gun in the game. Designed to scare off birds more than actually do damage. I'm surprised the shadows of this building are rather well done. This handled really smoothly. I spoke too soon. The melee cannot hit for beans. So I see this kind of urban chaos around me. Very similar to Max Payne, but this is a little bit different. This is more in line with Half-Life. The color palette is similar. A lot of gray, a lot of brown. So before we get too far into the game, I want to talk about the symbolism of names. Janowski's name means of God's grace, And his first name is Spencer, which means ambassador. So his full name means ambassador of God's grace. So your character, the protagonist, is being led through the opening by the ambassador of God's grace. And I know a lot of people are like, Irvin, why are you always looking at the symbolism of names? They don't really mean much, do they? It's like, yes, they do. They mean almost everything, because that's the thing that makes their title. Their symbolism is what they bring to the table. At least this thing can kill rats. That would suck if they fought back like in Dishonored. Alright, flashlight? Please keep this room clean. That is not my job. Damn, these doors have worse hinges than mine.
Hey, bro, what took you so long? Try to find a way around.
Rendezvous with Janowski? Well then let's G skedaddle there. Oh, my flashlight died. Point man, yes I'm talking to you. I said point. Jesus Christ, there's a freaking Jew in the hallway. I really do enjoy how Monolith games always open in somewhere abandoned. I think it's in relation to that part in The Matrix, the first one, when Trinity, she's in that abandoned building and the cops come, and then she like smashes that guy's nose in and then gets run over by a truck. So this game uses a health boost system past the 100 points of health. I think Wolfenstein New World Order tried to copy that. Do I like it? Can't complain. I'm hearing creepy whispering. Oh my god. You see that? Oh, that black smoke. I'm actually a little scared now. I haven't played this game in such a long time.
Why did you bring me here?
No, why did you bring me here? Oh, hey, check it out. They actually charred the glass. Somebody worked at Burger King, made some charred broiled glass for us. Oh my god, this place is so creepy. Patrick's scared! Wait a minute, it's Patrick sad. Okay, who woke up the baby?
Which way you little bastards woke up the baby?
Izzy Cola. Or is it Fizzy? Fizzy Cola. Okay, Fizzy. Target neutralized. You know, this looks like a doctor's office. An abandoned doctor's office. In Japanese horror and culture, houses are also supposed to have a spirit of their own, a kami of their own. That's how a spirit can get tied to it as a ghost, and that's why ghosts live in houses and you don't really see one walking down the street or in someone's front yard. You know, never heard of like a haunted mailbox, have you? So we're tracking Nicolas Cage. He's in this hospital. And it seems he was born here. And he's a psychic, so all these ghostly things are occurring. Where'd Janowski go? Is he out there getting fizzy pop? Where the hell is he?
Hold on a sec.
Oh, there he is.
Come on. You ready? Go!
Go, 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 move, move, move! Oh, false alarm.
You were born here, in this place.
This isn't time to turn into a puddle of ashes. We got to get this guy.
I was there.
You can do that later. We have a memory of someone born here. So, we found a dead body. He ate part of his face.
Jin, we need you up here.
On my way.
Looks like we're too late, boss. Just leftovers.
Oh my god, Janowski, aren't I in charge here? I'm the point man. See? My gun points. My finger
I'll wait here
paws.
for Jin. You take a look around.
Okay, Nicolas Cage is around here somewhere. I can't remember the guy's name. What is it? Paxton Fentel? So remember last time when I said that Paxton was a king? It's because Paxton means a peace town. That's the Latin word. And then fettle means to fetch or arrange. He is the one who's going to fetch or arrange a town of peace. Pretty peaceful here, if you ask me. Walking through a hallway. Now we're outside a bunch of water towers. Just like the WB logo. Look out for Bugs Bunny. Nee, what's up, Alma? That's not Bugs Bunny, that sounds like Peter Griffin. Oh, god damn it. I forgot about that.
The dead man's name was Charles Haberger. I remember him. But are the memories mine or hers? It makes no difference. He deserved to die. They all deserve to die.
Charles Hamburger? Isn't that character from the Pink Panther? And he goes, Hamburger!
What's going on? I've lost Fettel's signal. Comcast is his dead mother. I hope you aren't busy. We've got a situation down at the harbor. What kind of situation? We located those soldiers you were looking for, but we're under orders not to engage until you guys reconnoiter. Understood. I've got 2 birds en route to your position. You should have a visual shortly. We'll be ready.
So we lost Fettel. Mission failed. And now we're gonna be evacuated. Yep, that's my helicopter.
Please don't get shot down.
So when Fettel is talking about he's not sure if his memories are his or hers, he's talking about Alma, the main witch of the game, and she's supposed to be his mother. But she looks like a little girl because that's how she envisions her persona, her anima. The anima of Alma, in his mind, is of a little girl. Who's the babe? Let's see if it's Flash Friday. Flashlight.
You boys
Examining.
busy here for a while.
I suppose this cockblocker here is Jin.
I've tried to forget. I've tried so hard to forget.
I think that's Fettel wishing he forgot. But I don't know who that doctor guy is. All zombified.
These men are from Fear. They're special attachments to our unit for the duration of this op. They will be on point. Their mission is to assess the nature of the threat. Our job is to keep them alive. Do not engage the enemy. Remember that we are not dealing with ordinary bad guys.
I love these uniforms. They're very snazzy.
Once our recon is complete, we'll rendezvous and wait for further orders. Okay, let's saddle up.
And that's the end of part 1.